Okay, so Blake, Taylor, and Beyonce. Yes. I love talking about this so much. So, some of you guys really did not grow up with Gossip Girl. I don't know why you didn't grow up with Gossip Girl. I don't know where you've been. I'm so sorry that you grew up so poor. But like Gossip Girl is basically the show that had all of the fashion, it had all of the drama, it had all of the cliques, it had the high schools, it had the entourage, it had the locations, it had the people. It had everything and it has everything. It has everything and like I don't know, like Gossip Girl is just like that girl. Gossip Girl is like that show. It's just the one. And like I feel like a lot of people who basically everybody who grew up, if you grew up upper middle class, like Gossip Girl was like your Bible because it taught us all how to be petty. But it also taught us all like I feel like it kind of explored a lot of the microaggressions that Serena faces, the pettiness of Blair, the trials and tribulations of adolescence as a girl in America, dating, sex, relationships, just so many things it taught us about. And I feel like a lot of you guys weren't here for that. And I just wonder, where were you? Like, where were you? Now, the sad part about this is they tried to do a remake and then they made like everyone black and gay, and that was just strange. Like, you can't go from two extremes. Like the original Gossip Girl is way more indicative of what like America actually is. Like, you can't just put additional characters in like New York like who aren't there. You have to, it has to like go with the culture. Like they should have did like a Gossip Girl, and they maybe they should do this if they were smart. They would do like a Gossip Girl with like Blake Lively now as like a whole like counselor, Yara Shahidi as like a I don't know, like a grad student, and then like who else could be like what would, or I don't know, it could be like Justine Skye is like an artist in residence, something like that, where it's like it's not really exactly happening. Like I don't know, maybe Yara actually might go to grad school, but it's way more like kind of like, oh, this is what society like could actually be. And maybe there's another thing where I haven't done a very good job of this, where I could have been giving you guys like breakdowns of Grownish. It's a great show. Like it's a really great show, and like for me it was kind of like the first time I felt like I saw some of like my personal experiences. I didn't really have those experiences in college because like I went to like a primarily white and Asian college, and also yeah, I was like a computer science major, so we don't really go out. I will say I had my own experiences outside of college. Girl, like as soon as we hit the workforce, your bitch was on it. Let me. Those are for Patreon, Olivia. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, yeah. So it's a lot of tea. mm. Read the thumbnail if you kind of want to understand what I'm saying. I feel like I've actually unpacked Jenny a little bit. I feel like if more black girls unpack Jenny as a character, then you know you actually might be able to like find your own place in primarily white society a little bit easier, because like Jenny kind of did a lot of the footwork for you. It would be even more incredible if like Meredith Grey from like Grey's Anatomy. I should write this show. Maybe I'll do that. I'm gonna write this show. I don't know how I'm scripting the show. Here's the show. Okay, so basically, like Meredith comes back. She is now retired with all her babies and shit, but she has decided that like I don't know, she wants to start like a research program in the hospital, and she's looking for like new research interns, and somehow that story like wraps. It's all happening on the same campus. It has to be in like New York or LA. It would be really dope if it was in Nashville. I'm just saying, like It sounds like the Vanderbilt PhD program has like halted the application fee for new PhD students. I'm just saying. Just saying. Yeah. So I'll put some links in the description box and maybe I'll start writing about this a little bit more in depth. But I think that I want to read to you what Blake Lively actually said in her Instagram post because I think that it's like, oh, oh, this is cool. So Yara Shahidi just gave a talk. Commitment, and that is really rare. I think that so many artists, particularly those of us that live on the margins and intersections of being a woman, as a black and brown person, as an immigrant, gender non-conforming folks, what we all know is that regardless of the form that our art takes, our participation in this industry is also contingent on accepting this other responsibility of showing up as our full selves and making space for others to show up as their full selves. Being here really gives me continued hope because this is a room united in a shared commitment, and that is really rare. That's true. Well, it's like you speak it right into existence, right? Anyway, I Hi, my name is Danielle. I first heard about model camp in around. We could talk about Dr. Betty on another. Sorry, this was where. Okay, so basically, Blake Lively says this. When I grew up, women were always pit against one another. It took me until adulthood to see the instinct for women to lift each other up to their highest potential is the norm, not the exception. Most of my best friends are women who would have been packaged to me as threats or competition. It's our job to show younger generations the power in aligning rather than dividing. All this to say, Beyonce and Taylor Swift, neither of you have to be threatened by my pop stardom. There's space for us all. Renaissance, a film by Beyonce in theaters now, and even better than you can imagine. I'm sure it's great. I plan to go see it on Monday. Or I want to see it basically on a day when the theaters aren't packed because I don't like other people. So that wasn't clear.